Now, I know you've seen this absolutely riveting tea and coffee making routine many times in our videos now. I'm sorry if it's a bit boring, but I find it quite therapeutic to start a video with that and start the day in that kind of order, or just a break-up video somewhere along the lines. We don't put it in every video, to be fair. However, we've got something new to break it up this time, to make it a little bit different, and that is a new addition, which I'm sure you've already noticed. And that is this fabulous little kettle here. So yes, sadly, we had to get rid of the little green wonder. We really didn't want to, because we don't like getting rid of things unless it's absolutely necessary. The little battered green kettle, it was starting to just wind us up in the end, because when you poured the water from the spout, it almost, like half of it always ended up going on the floor or on the counter. Like there was no way to do it. We could never figure it out, and it seemed to get worse over time. Not only that, but it was starting to sound like it was going to actually explode or something. I'm sure it wasn't, but it just wasn't sounding good. We were thinking it was going to fall apart. So the little green kettle, that's done well for us for over 3 years now, so you know, I think it's had a good innings. We recycled it. I think we've put it in the metal recycling somewhere, Stephen did, so hopefully that does get recycled, because it is just metal, well, most of it apart from the handle. So we've got a brand new kettle, this lovely thing here. It was £16 from Argos. It does exactly the same as the last one. The only difference is, one, it's easier to fill up because we can take off the top, there's a lid, and it doesn't spill. When we pour the water does not sort of run down the sides of the kettle onto the floor or anywhere else. It just pours perfectly, and it whistles all lovely as well. So yeah, there we go, new addition, hasn't got a name. I think kettle will suffice. Well, you can't argue with a morning view like that to wake up to your cup of tea or coffee with, can you? And it's January, but the temperatures have risen slightly, and the wind is quite still, and you can see the blue sky, the sun's out, and there's nobody about. We're just parked in this little spot overlooking the North Sea, with the valleys in front of us, or well, the countryside anyway. That's the sort of wake-up call you want in the morning, isn't it? That's the sort of positivity you want flowing into your veins when you wake up and start your day. That can only mean good things, Steve. You just frowned at me. That's something, I suppose. Good morning, Stephanie.
Morning.
Cup of tea for you.
Thank you very much.
Don't say I don't treat you.
You don't treat me.
Well, that's the only bit of treats you get in all day then. Because that is lies. Actually, is it? I don't know. Do we treat each other? I don't think we do we? We just have to, like...
We want something, we just get it.
Yeah. We go through life together. There's no time for treating each other. We treat ourselves together. That's a better way of putting it.
Aye, whatever you say, dear.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah, my brain isn't awake yet.
Well, we've got fun adventures planned today, Stephen. We are doing something we haven't done for a little while. I am really looking forward to this. Are you?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, no.
Is it hilly?
You need to... I don't know. I think some of it is.
Oh, I suppose I need the exercise, really.
We haven't done this for ages, and it looks like a good day for it, and this is a very pretty place, apparently, so I am seriously looking forward to this. There might even be ice cream.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I just need to wake up and have a cup of tea first.
All right, well, I'll turn the camera off and we can just get back to our human selves.
That sounds alright.
I'm already there, but...
No, I'm not.
So this is where we woke up this morning. Absolutely no one around, just this little car park, and it overlooks the bay, and we are just above a place called Robin Hood's Bay. Been wanting to come here for quite some time and didn't manage it the last time we were up in Yorkshire. There goes a bus. So it's somewhere between Whitby and Scarborough, just off the coast, and it's a little village down there. So the plan today is we're going to walk along inland somewhere, do a circular walk, and then come back along the coast and back to the village, and then do a bit of exploring. But I think we're not going to leave the van up here just because it's a bit far out the way. I think we're going to drive down, there is a car park, and then we're going to start the walk from there. Not quite feeling the need for a hat yet, despite the fact Stephen's shaved my hair off again, in case you hadn't noticed. What a stupid thing to do in winter, eh? Should be a bit of a mixed bag today, and it sort of breaks up some of the things we've been doing recently, because looking around towns is nice and sort of thinking about putting down roots again, but you know, we want to remember again why we're in a van and why we go out and explore places, and coming to places like this is exactly why. We're back on the porridge this morning, so we're going to add a little bit of yoghurt. Couple of spoonfuls of that. We're going to have a little bit of kiwi fruit, teeny tiny orange, a couple of ripped up dates. I love adding dates to things. They give everything a like kind of toffee or caramelized flavour, but without the bad stuff involved, although they are very sugary. And a few little sunflower seeds and a wee dash of milk. That'll do this morning. So we are just down the road from where we were parked earlier. We're in Robin Hood's Bay and we're in a little car park which we thought was going to be £6 for maybe like the whole day, 6 hours, something like that. But turns out it's actually free out of season. So right up until March, I don't know, October to March, something like that. It is totally and utterly free. So hello, Steve. All right. Gate crashing the video here. He doesn't want to say anything and now he wants to gate crash. What's that about? Now, if we said that was a summer's day, would you call us liars? Well, maybe actually, if you looked at the trees in the distance and can see there's no leaves, but at a quick glance, that looks pretty summery, right? As you can see, these cliffs are pretty unstable. There's falls, or evidence of falls, all along here. And they don't look like they're made of much except mud, really, just soil. And this is an official path we're on. We're not straying or anything, but I'm not going to hang around. Let's just keep moving. Well, that got muddy really quickly, didn't it? That was awful. It was really hard not to fall over. And then we've come down some steps. We've managed to reach concrete, but I feel like it's got to start again by going back up. So we've got a bit of a choice. We can walk along the coast. I don't think it's that far, but the tide's coming in and it's, I don't know, that looks a bit iffy to me. I think it's sort of halfway in. I don't know when the cut-off point is. In the meantime, we're in this little place called Boggle Hole, which is all very fantastical, isn't it? And that's a youth hostel there, Boggle Hole Youth Hostel. So we either go up or risk the beach. What do you reckon, Steve? Should we just go up? Yeah, you're right. I don't want to get cut off down there. Too risky. Oh my God, we just trekked up more steps. And you know what? We're just seeing people down there now on a very clear beach that looks perfectly safe. We should have just done that because it's only along there. Never mind. We're up now. Don't tell Steve. You alright, Steve?
Those steps are like that.
Yeah, they were, but we made it, and it's obviously 10 times worse when it's muddy. We stopped for a bit of lunch. We wanted lunch ages ago, so we've got some wraps brought with us and an apple each. You know, where's a bloody bench when you want one? We saw loads on the way, and we thought, oh, we'll just wait till past the halfway point. Once you get to the seafront, there'll be absolutely tons. Absolutely nothing. Yeah. Nothing at all. But we did finally find one, so we're sitting down, having our wraps, and enjoying this lovely view over the bay before we get back to Robin Hood's Bay. We'll see you after lunch. So we've just stopped coming to a little National Trust Coast Guard kind of watch place, is it? I think, and they did research here. There's so many interesting bits of information on the wall about the area. But what I really love is in their window seats, you can sit and have a drink, but they've got binoculars. So you can actually look out the windows to see. They've got binoculars on each one. So you can look out over the North Sea. So we're just walking back to the van now, and we had to finish with an ice cream. I had golden honeycomb. You had, what did you have?
Cherry.
Cherry in chocolate waffle type cones. Very nice. I think it was like £7 something for the two. So they were a bit pricey, but they do taste really, really good. So it's quite a sweet little shop actually. She did the ice cream, but she did loads of like local chocolates by the looks of it, and sweets and stuff like that. Really nice. Bit of an uphill trek to get back though, eh?
Aye.
And we're back home because we only have to walk to our home wherever it is.
Aye. All right, that's that done.
That's that done. That's that chore out the way, is it, Steve?
Yeah, that's that done.
That's that amazing little thing done and dusted. Thank God you don't have to do that again, eh? God, what a terrible life we lead. No, probably tomorrow, in fact. With that attitude, we'll be going up Snowdon tomorrow.
Oh, shut up in your face.
So we're back in our little van. Oh my God, I'm quite impressed with that place. Are you?
Yeah, it's nice.
That is really nice.
It's very small. It only takes you about half an hour to walk around. Really.
Yeah, you don't sound that impressed.
It's all right. It's a bit like just, I don't know, just visiting some preserved part of the country, really. It's not nothing.
I mean, look at this one, like he's visited all the most beautiful places, not fussed anymore, don't really care.
Well, we have visited some really beautiful
We
places.
have, but not all of them. Look, anyway, I think that was, it was very oldie worldy, and it reminded us both of Cornwall, didn't it?
Yeah.
Definitely had a Cornish vibe to it. Really lovely, pretty old streets and cottages, a few little shops and things like that. There wasn't much going on, a couple of little pubs and things, but just had that kind of smuggler's cove look. So if you ever wanted to go there, it's like visiting some kind of old-fashioned world that times forgot. If you're wondering, by the way, why don't you settle in Robin Hood's Bay? That looks pretty. Well, I'll tell you one thing, just Google house prices in Robin Hood's Bay, and that'll give you the answer as to why.
This is the one few places where you're like, yeah, I could understand why it is mostly holiday cottages, because it'd be very difficult to live here.
Yeah, it would be difficult to live here. There is bus services, but it's still quite steep, and there's not masses here in terms of amenities, although there was a well-stocked little general store actually.
Yeah.
But it is very, very, very expensive. So yeah, that would be why we're not settling here, among many other reasons. Yeah. So yeah, very glad to visit it. Definitely come up and visit this place if you're on the Yorkshire coast, this East Yorkshire coast. I don't know what part of Yorkshire you're in now, but between Whitby and Scarborough it is, and it's worth a little detour, and it's free to park up here in the winter, which is great.
Yeah.
So we're going to head on. The sun's setting now, and we need to find a place to lay our heads again, don't we?
We do.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. So we've moved on. We have woken up today. We've gone just down the road and we've woken up in Scarborough. Now we've been here a couple of times before, haven't we?
Yeah.
So we're going to have another look round. We're probably not going to show you masses of it, but we are here very specifically to see what it costs to live here, basically. What it's like, what some of the streets are like. It looks reasonably affordable. If we ever decided we wanted to settle again, just to keep adding, we're not sure we want to do that, but we're just looking. So Scarborough is one of the things that we had on the map. It looks like you can get a decent property for a reasonable price if we were to ever try and do that. So we're going to have a wander around. Some areas are better than others. We've done some research, but probably nowhere near enough, so we thought we'd just go and see for ourselves. Scarborough, for camper vans, obviously it's become quite controversial recently. It used to be a bit of a haven for camper vans and motorhomes. There was a couple of spots, very specifically down on the seafront. There was one that was very well known, and it was a great place to stay all through the year. And there was even another one that we actually used to stay at that was just up in the town somewhere that was really good. Both of these places completely banned now. You cannot stay overnight, so it's all completely gone. Which, by the way, we've also noticed in a place in Whitby that used to be very popular, and somewhere else along here. So it seems to be something they've really cracked down on, which is quite a shame, but I guess people were mistreating it or something. I don't know. We don't actually know the reasons, but it's a shame for us.
No overnight.
Yes, the same old story. But anyway, so we're going to look around Scarborough. It's a nice day. It's bloody chilly, and we're going to see what it brings. See what the houses look like, and just have a nice stroll down the seafront. I think we'll see you down the town somewhere.
All right then.
All right, bye.
Bye.
But I think we just forgot to add actually that we did find somewhere to stay for the night, so there was still somewhere to stay in Scarborough. I think there's still a couple of options. It is just a car park, not very pretty, and it was like £6 for 24 hours, I think, something like that. Yeah. So at least we got somewhere, but God knows how long that one's going to last, of course.
Yeah.
The first thing we're going to do is go to a coffee shop though, because we need to charge our phones, and the reason we need to charge our phones is because for some reason our leisure battery has completely died. It's dead. I don't know if it's where we used the heating a couple of times in recent days. Our bar that tells us the levels wasn't completely low, but it was in the yellow, and we never normally let it get that far. So now it's in the yellow. Last night at some point it just went dead and it stopped working. The light stopped working. So yeah, we've got two options here. One, we either need to replace the battery because it's maybe killed it entirely, which is very possible. The other is we will do a bit of driving. We'll possibly get onto a campsite, which I think we're going to do tonight, in order to try and charge it up. That might not work, but I think we should try that before we buy a new battery, don't you?
I think so.
And the sun's in my eyes, so let's go. So we've been pretty bad this morning, haven't we? We were so hungry. We weren't good boys. We didn't have our porridge today. We went out and we got ourselves this baguette. I'm really sorry we didn't film it. We were just so hungry and we just couldn't be bothered really. But we got this baguette and it was like hot beef baguette. It was stuffed with really like thick slices of beef in this little kind of sandwich place. And he put like gravy and horseradish in and onions. It was so good, wasn't it?
Nice.
Oh my God, a little bit pricey for the size. It was like a £5 each, and it wasn't like huge or anything, but it was still really, really tasty. I can't say I've seen that in many places where they do hot meat rolls like that, but with gravy and horseradish. It's like, oh, amazing. That's such an obvious idea, isn't it, when you think about it? So the town itself of Scarborough, like it's not like the prettiest town or anything in terms of the buildings, but there is a hell of a lot there. There are so many different types of shops. Because I know some people say Scarborough's not that nice, and I think it's all right, you know, we quite like it.
I do like Scarborough.
And there is, as I said, there is a lot in terms of what you need in the town. Also, there is still an M&S on the high street. So if you're from the UK, whenever there's an M&S on the high street, you kind of know that's a promising sign, isn't it? Or it feels like one, because so many places have lost their M&S on the high streets. Again, we don't care about Marks and Spencer's, but the fact it's still here when it's gone in so many other towns is a little bit promising, I reckon.
Yeah, there wasn't loads of closed down shops that you see, particularly in the south, is there?
Yeah.
Dead high streets, but there wasn't.
No, there wasn't.
And everything is still winter and everything's still open.
Yeah.
Like so many seaside towns we've been to, if you look at our other videos, we come to in winter and they're all closed down in winter, but it's not here, it's all still
still going. So that's the seafront bit. So the actual bit on the seafront, that's probably the best thing about Scarborough we like. Like we're not going to film all of it because we've done a video here before and we went down the other end where the harbour is, really pretty. We might film some of it, I'm not sure yet. So we decided to walk the other end this time, and that's just as nice, isn't it? Some really grand buildings, including that incredible hotel back there. Really just a stunning location. And as Stephen said, there are things open. Like the high street did not have many empty shops at all. There was a shopping centre that seemed to be closed down, but that was inside a building. The actual high street itself seemed like everything was open and there was lots going on. But down the seafront, the amusements are open, there's food places open. It's not got that wintry kind of, like when we went to Hunstanton in Norfolk in January or whenever it was, like everything, it was like a ghost town. Not like that here at all. So lots of pluses here. All that being said, is Scarborough kind of grabbing us enough? Like, is it worth the sacrifice? Because there will be a lot of effort in terms of stopping what we're doing and settling down, all the things that are involved with that, changing our lives, literally. Is it enough? That's the thing.
I don't know yet.
No, I don't. I don't think we're kind of instantly like, yes, are we? We're not. It's got to be, it's got to be bloody amazing for us to stop van life.
Yeah. And this is the thing, like, it's a huge sacrifice to get something else that we want. You know, it's the same as sacrificing everything to get in the van. We've got to sacrifice everything to get out of the van.
Yeah.
And then when you look at it that way, you think, oh, do I really want to go back to that? For, you know, it's got to be something really enticing to make that worthwhile.
And you can walk in these places and think, oh, that's great, yeah, I'd love it. But you know, the novelty can wear off pretty quickly when you're somewhere, can't it? So we will see. Jury's out, but lots of pluses about Scarborough. So we're kind of running out of time now because our batteries are going to die and time is going to run out on the van where we're parked. But just to give you some idea, that house there, that's up for sale and it's 165,000. I think it's got a garden, I can't remember. But it looks quite nice actually. Nice sort of old-fashioned kind of terrace street. It does seem quiet. I don't get a bad vibe or anything, do you? No. And there's another one further along, so let's have a look. And then just a little bit further along, you've got this house here, which is kind of the same, but it's up for 140, so it's a lot cheaper. It looks really spacious inside. The kitchen looks good. Not much of a garden, actually. We've just realised along most of these. This kind of has something out the back, though. It's got like a little courtyard bit, so you can still do something outside, out the back, and make something of it. I don't think that's bad for the price, do you?
Yeah, so
140 for that. As we said, it seems like an alright street. And this is another similar street. Really nice brickwork on these terrace houses. And that one there, I don't know if you can see the sign, but it's in front. It's up for 135,000. It does need some work, but that's pretty damn good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very nice. And this is another one in a different road just around the corner. This looks really nice actually. It's got a little tiny back garden, but we quite like it because it's got the end bit, and there's a shed in a little courtyard bit. You know, it's not massive, but it looks pretty good, and that's up for 138,000. Like down south, what would that cost you? Just 200 or something?
Depends where it was.
Yeah, even more maybe.
It'd definitely be a lot more than that.
So, you know, Scarborough, it's not to say whether we'd come here or not, we don't know, but you can see why we'd be considering the north.
Yeah.
And we quite like it here, really.
Yeah, I do like Scarborough.
But is it enough, Steve? Is it enough to give up van life?
Give up van life, and I don't know if it
No, I don't either.
I don't know if anything's going to
Maybe nothing will be. We'll be here in 20 years having the same conversation.
It kind of brings it home how much we value what we've got, really.
Yeah. And another one, we're going to have to stop filming because my battery really is going to die, and there are loads of properties we could have shown you around and had a look around for the video, but this is one of them and we really like this. It's a bit more expensive than the others. It's up for 160, I think. About 160. Just looks really nice. It's on a nice road. It's got a bit of a garden. I don't think it's got much of one, but it's got something there that you can do something with. And it just looks alright. Front garden, of course.
I like that.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice.
See, that is promising. Very much like that. I think I'm glad we've come here to have a look.
Yeah.
And I like Scarborough anyway. It's just been nice to have a wander on the seafront. You know, this is a nice place to come. It's a shame about the camper van thing.
We've still got a few more places to look at as well, though, outside Scarborough.
We have, yeah.
So let's go back to the van and get to our campsite and see if our battery needs replacing.
Yeah, let's go. I was trying to distract myself from that. Let's carry on filming houses instead. Stephen's just tried to move the light.
Doing it
It's just
twice.
burnt his hand.
Once wasn't enough,
I
clearly.
can't. There we go. That light there. It's absolutely lethal.
You could cook an egg on that.
You could. Maybe we should if our gas runs out. Anyway, we have moved on. So, yeah, sorry we kind of jumped ahead. Our batteries just died, so we kind of had to stop filming. Then we had to rush back to the van and move on. Tonight, we have come to a little campsite, not far, just outside of Scarborough somewhere. And we are attempting, the reason we're here is simply to attempt to charge our leisure battery because it appears to have utterly died. So before we rush out and panic and buy a new one, we're hoping it can charge overnight. Our setup is very, very basic, which I'm sure you never guessed or realised before now. It is really basic. I don't think we've even got room for a bigger or more advanced battery. I'm sure we've had these conversations before, but maybe we can look into it and see. If Stephen does have a thing on his phone that says if how much power is left in the battery, the leisure battery.
Yeah, we got a charge controller for when we had the solar panel.
Yeah,
which doesn't work anymore.
But it does work for our leisure battery, and it appears to be charging, doesn't it?
Yeah,
we just don't know if it's going to hold or not,
no.
Because this has never died on us before. So, you know, we'll give it a go. So we've come to this little campsite, got some dinner on. I'm making a chilli. Didn't film it because, well, we're just going to be bothered really by the time we did everything we needed to do. But we've got a chilli on the go, which is always nice comfort food. What I will add, would you hold the camera, please, Steve, so I can put it in? What I will add is we have this lovely little thing here called Old Bay seasoning. So, clues in the title really, it's just some seasoning powder, and it does have salt in it, but it has all sorts of flavourings and stuff like that with a hint of spice. It's really nice, isn't it? Sometimes we put this to cooked noodles. We put it in loads of things and use it. It's basically like a stock cube or stock powder.
Right.
Very, very tasty. I think it's American, I'm sure it is. It seems to say so on the back.
For a couple of quid from Aldi, can't you, at the moment?
Yeah, it's not expensive, and it does last a while. So Old Bay seasoning, highly recommend that.
Right.
So Scarborough, nice to visit it again. You know, we're keeping it in the back of our minds. It's a nice little place, affordable, lots to love about it, I would say. But is it amazing enough for us to give up van life? It's probably not, is it?
The thing is, it's not about Scarborough. Like we was thinking and we was talking earlier, it's like Daisy's in a bit of a mess. Like, she's not very comfortable, is she? Like, we need to replace the foam in the chairs. The skylight is broken. The fridge is broken.
We still haven't done those, by the way.
The blinds are like, you know, getting a little bit better, but, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
What else is broken? The leisure battery.
The light above, you mentioned that.
The light needs replacing.
The doors outside need painting properly.
There's so many things that make living in this van a bit more difficult and harsh that we need to sort out for ourselves. I understand that. However, despite all of that, we value this, despite all of those challenges and all of those things that need doing. We value that more than living in a house and having to go to work every day. Yeah,
I mean, because going back to a house would mean going back to a full-time job. Not the end of the world, you have to do it, that's life. We've been there, we've done it, but we also know what this gives us being in a van. We don't have those heavy bills, we don't have the rent or a mortgage. So that's what we'd be giving up. It's not some dreadful predicament, you know, it's obviously like, okay, we've just got to make a decision. So a place has to be, yes, this is worth giving all this up for, all these things we're doing. It has to be worth it.
Everything that comes to van life, all of the freedom, like, it sharpens your mind against it, really. And it's like, no, this is still really valuable. We still love this. And we knew that anyway. Yeah. But looking at the potential of doing it is like, actually, actually, I don't even care. This is better.
So we'll see where we go, won't we? Let's just see what the hell happens.
We will.
You know, whatever. Hopefully, whatever happens, we'll keep Daisy anyway, or at least still keep doing van life to some degree.
We won't get rid of Daisy.
I don't think so.
These things cost a lot of money, and we won't be able to get it again. So whatever happens, we're keeping Daisy.
Yeah. Well, with that, we're going to settle down for the night. I'm going to end the video there, I think. Would you like to end us, Steve?
We will.
Well, not end us, but end the vid.
I'll end you. Don't shut up.
You say that every day. It threatens me all the time.
I know.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. So with that, we're going to end the video. If you like the channel, please subscribe. Please push your like button. It's very important to push your like button. and push the notification bell if you want to be notified when the next video comes out.
Yeah, so thank you for watching. Next time we are going to be exploring more of Yorkshire, East Yorkshire, and we're going to 2 towns that we've got very high hopes for, one of which we've been to before and absolutely love. But let's see what we think in January.
All right then.
Or February, whenever it's going to be. January, probably.
All right then.
All right then.
All right then.
All right then.
All right, bye.
See you later. Bye.